dancing, and I danced at least 3-4 nights a week. Little did I know that while I was dancing in my formative years, I was building up a good health, a good body. In my time, many doctors that I went to always said to me, Mr. Brown, what do you eat and what do you drink? I never knew what they were talking about. But I found out that one day I was watching television and a man said dancing is a very healthy exercise. So now I knew how I built up a good body. Well, going along up until 99 years, I had no trouble. And then the roof came in. And 99 to 100, I've been in and out of hospitals. I had cancer twice. Doctors found for me. I've been a lucky fellow all along. I was married when I was 30. I met my wife, and we had company for 3 years. And after 3 years, I was drafted into service, and I went into the Army, and I did my basic training in Florida. Temperature was 95 degrees. We had to put 60 pounds on the back and walk 25 miles. 1 canteen of water. You couldn't fall out unless you fell on your face. It's the only time the ambulance would pick you up. Well, I was here for 8 months. Moved to Little Rock, Arkansas for winter maneuvers. Stayed there for a little while, and then overseas. We were on the water for 28 days. In a convoy that was so far you couldn't see the beginning and you couldn't see the end. It was amazing. I had never seen so many ships in my life. Well, after 28 days, we landed in Naples, and then we went to a replacement depot. And from there, with my luck, 1 week, I was at the front lines. And when I went up there and I saw what was happening, I said, my God, somebody can get killed here. Anyway, I was there for 2 years, and I must tell you one incident so you'll understand what I'm going to tell you. When I tell you anything, it's the truth. I do not lie. So you may believe and you may not believe, but I'm going to tell it to you. When I went up to the front lines, and the captain said, we were behind a little hill, the captain said, charge. We went over the hill to go for the Germans who were hiding in the woods. They opened fire. We were standing right like this, running forward, and the Germans opened fire. And people were falling on the left side, on the right side, and nothing came near me. And when the captain saw what happened, he said, come on back, and we crawled back. When that thing happened, I said to myself, then I had a guardian angel on my shoulder, because if people are falling on both sides and I can't even catch a pole, there has to be something. And I was lucky throughout the war. I was there for 2 years. I was in a lot of battles, and I can't tell you how many times I escaped from, I can't explain why. I was sleeping in a hole for 2 nights. I picked myself up and walked away. And right after half an hour I walked away, everybody around me was killed. It happened time and time again, and I knew it had to be my guardian angel. Well, finally, it was over, and I came home. And when I was discharged and came home, I could not sleep in the bed. I was so used to sleeping on the floor and in a hole in the ground, I couldn't. It took me a week to get used to sleeping in the bed. Well, after a while, we decided, but I went back to work, and then about 2 years later, I said to my wife, a friend of ours bought a house, let's go out and see the house, because maybe we need something, we can buy them a present. And we took a ride out in the car, and we were riding along, and this is the amazing thing that you have to believe. I was riding in a strange town been there before, and I was going east, and for no reason at all, I turned the car going north, going south, and everybody starts yelling, where are you going? And I said, I don't know. Why did you go down this block? I said, I don't know. Well, after a mile and a half, I came to a dead end. And I was worried. Looking out was the Atlantic Ocean. I said, what did I do? Why did I turn down here? I couldn't tell you. After a couple of minutes, I said, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a left turn going east. And going east, and when I come to a big street, I'll go back to where I was. I rode 2 blocks, and there was 3 brand new model homes. And they said, stop the car. They went out to take a look, and I bought a house. So you see, there are some things that were supposed to happen, and it did happen, and I waited 2 years for the house to be built. And it was in the no-place neighborhood. You would see what it looked like, so run down and everything. But what they did and what they made out of it was a beautiful area, and I lived there for 21 years. Well, it was a wonderful time with my family, and we enjoyed every minute of it. And the funny thing, I must tell you this one story. They decided to build a temple. All you need is 2 Jews, and they built 3 temples. So they built a temple 2 blocks from me, and they made a party, and I went to the party that particular day with my wife, and we were sitting, and it was a lovely crowd, and I had my drink in front of me, and I enjoyed myself, so I went over to the waitress, and I said to the waitress, here's $5. Every time you see me put my finger up, fill up the glass. And so this went on most of the night, and my wife turned to me and said to me, there's something wrong here. Every time I look, I see you drinking, but every time I take a look, the glass is full. But I said, you are seeing the wrong thing. I'm sipping it, I'm not drinking it. Came the end of the evening, she said, let's go home, and I said, come on, we're only live 2 blocks away. So she said to me, you're drunk, I'm going to drive the car. I said, no, I will drive the car. So she said, please drive slow. So I got into the car, and I drove very slow, 2 blocks, and I parked in the driveway, and then I got out, and I opened up the garage door. And then I got into the car, and I'm looking for the steering wheel. Somebody stole the steering wheel. I went into the back of the car. And I thought my wife was going to have an accident, and I quickly drove in, and we came home. I've had an enjoyable life. I really have. I've been honest with people. I have a wealth of friends, and I will never, ever do anything that would spoil our friendships that I have here. So many people here. I feel so comfortable coming here, and it's so good for me. And I found this place by accident because what happened when I was the mitzvah at 13, I never joined a temple again. When I got to be 78, I got such an urge to become a Jew again that I couldn't control myself. And I found an ad in the paper that a man, a rabbi by the name of Schwartz, was going to start a beginner's class, and I went to the beginner's class, and I learned and I studied, and I was a mitzvah when I was 80 years old. That's the first time after 13. And I've been here a member ever since, and I will remain a member here until it's all over. So I want to thank everybody for coming.